The institutions are hiding something. Palantir is on the verge of blowing up, but it seems like no one knows. Normal traders are being left behind. So, what are they doing behind the scenes? And how can normal traders benefit from this? Well, let me explain. Disclaimer. As you may already know, it's been quite some time now that people have been speculating about Palantir getting listed onto the S&P 500. And if this does come true, Palantir will certainly explode. And with this, their stock price could also grow exponentially. And what's more is that if Palantir gets listed in the S&P 500, it could lead to other significant positive impacts on the company's stock. But there's a recent update on this. You will not believe what just happened. Behind the scenes, it seems like huge investors and institutions are starting to move. They've been seen to add more shares in Palantir so that they can get in position before this potentially happens. A social media post has shared that institutional investors can't seem to get enough of Palantir shares. Their buying is also seen to be increasing over time. While it's true that there are also retail traders and other normal shareholders who have been buying shares of Palantir ahead of time, these are only a small percentage of the investing population. And now that institutions are probably seeing the potential of Palantir, they've also secretly moved to buy more shares. But here's what's interesting. Schroder Investment Management Group, a massive fund with a staggering $956 billion under management, has just made a significant move. They've added around 43% more shares of Palantir to their portfolio. Now, this isn't just some random buying spree. When a fund of this size makes a decision like this, there's usually a lot more going on behind the scenes. Big funds like Schroder don't just wake up one day and decide to add 43% more of any stock without a solid reason. These decisions are typically driven by in-depth analysis, careful planning, and a strong belief in the company's potential for growth. The number itself speaks volumes because it shows a high level of confidence in Palantir's future prospects. So, when Schroder makes a move like this, it's worth paying attention. It could mean they see something promising in Palantir's strategy, technology, or market potential that could drive the stock higher. Or maybe a potential S&P 500 listing? Well, who knows? But the numbers here aren't just about shares. They're about confidence, strategy, and foresight. How do you feel about this? We would love to hear your opinion below. The recent surge in institutional buying of Palantir's stock could be driven by the anticipation that the company might soon be listed in the S&P 500. When a company is considered for inclusion in such a prestigious index, it often attracts significant attention from institutional investors who want to position themselves ahead of the potential listing. As these funds buy Palantir's stock to include it in their portfolios, the demand for the stock could rise, potentially driving up its price. And here's what's even more shocking. It appears that institutions are quietly increasing their holdings in Palantir, likely to avoid drawing attention from other investors who might also be interested in the stock. By doing this discreetly, they can accumulate shares without triggering a surge in demand that could drive up the price before they've secured their positions. This subtle approach suggests that these institutions might have insights or expectations about Palantir's future that the average investor doesn't yet know. But this is what you need to remember. The absence of grand announcements or major publicity around these purchases indicates that these institutions prefer to operate behind the scenes. This strategy allows them to buy more shares at a relatively stable price, avoiding the market frenzy that could occur if their plans were made public. For institutions, keeping their buying activity low profile is a smarter move because it helps them avoid competing with other large investors, which could quickly drive up the stock price. And here's a more compelling reason why they do this. By keeping their actions quiet, they maximize their potential gains once the stock price eventually responds to the anticipated developments, like a possible listing in the S&P 500. This methodical, under-the-radar buying is a calculated way to secure a significant position in a company like Palantir without tipping off the broader market. However, these are all still predictions and assumptions as to why these institutions are buying Palantir behind the scenes. What do you think about this? Let us hear your thoughts below. Whether or not Palantir is going to be listed on the S&P 500, the fact still remains that the company has been performing really well. Palantir has been on a remarkable trajectory lately, showcasing impressive growth that has captured the attention of investors and institutions alike. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Over the past year, Palantir's stock price has surged by over 119%, a performance that far exceeds the growth of the S&P 500, which has increased by nearly 27% in the same time frame. This stark contrast underscores Palantir's strong market momentum and its ability to outperform even the most established companies in the broader market. This exceptional growth is not just a fleeting trend, but a clear indication of Palantir's increasing influence and value in the tech sector. And here's why that's interesting. For institutional investors, this kind of performance is a compelling reason to quietly accumulate more shares. The significant difference between Palantir's growth and that of the S&P 500 makes it an attractive investment opportunity, especially for those who see the potential for continued success. These institutions are likely buying more stock in anticipation of further gains, driven by Palantir's expanding market presence and the possibility of it being included in the S&P 500. The fact that these institutional purchases are happening quietly, without major public announcements, suggests a strategic approach. Do you think the institutions are doing this on purpose? Let us know your thoughts. By buying behind the scenes, these investors avoid creating a rush among retail investors, which could drive up the stock price before they have secured their positions. This discrete accumulation strategy is a way for institutions to maximize their potential returns while keeping their plans under the radar. Moreover, Palantir's outstanding performance makes a strong case for its inclusion in the S&P 500. A company that can consistently outgrow the index itself demonstrates the kind of stability, growth potential, and market relevance that the S&P 500 represents. If Palantir continues on this path, its inclusion in the index seems not only likely, but also well-deserved, further validating the institution's quiet but calculated buying spree. In fact, one user on X has just shared how Palantir's movement could be a sign that their bull run might even continue in the next few days. Something huge has just happened, and this made Palantir poised for potential continuation in its upward trend. How so? Recently, the stock just tested the $33 level, but faced rejection, leading to a drop. However, it successfully backtested a key support level before bouncing back, demonstrating solid recovery. This dip and bounce pattern indicates strong underlying support, and the stock closed with a promising candle, suggesting bullish momentum next few weeks. But here's what's exciting. If Palantir can continue pushing through and maintain this momentum, it would be a strong signal to investors that the stock is resilient, even in the face of short-term pullbacks. The ability to bounce back after testing support levels shows that there is significant buying interest, which bodes well for Palantir's future performance. For Palantir, this price action is highly encouraging. It suggests that the stock has strong support, which could help sustain its recent gains and potentially lead to further growth. This continued strength is positive for the company, as it not only attracts more investors, but also reinforces Palantir's standing as a strong performer in the tech sector. But what do you think about this? Let us hear your thoughts below. If you are curious to find more, then make sure to click on one of the videos you see on the screen. And with that, we come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed the video, please like this video, and don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section. This really helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Also, please share this video with as many people as possible. Let's get this news out there.